Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and today is the day that we start our decoration celebration over at my group where we share all the different decorations that we have for the holidays in December. And I'm wearing the Santa hat to start the celebration, and I want to show you where I have some of my cards that you sent and my Charlie Brown tree. So let me switch this around, and I have got beautiful cards here on the table. And over here, I have more cards. There's the one, remember the cross stitch one? Isn't that pretty? And here's the Charlie Brown tree, because you know, the white lights have all died pretty much. So there's one little bit here. That's it. That's all the white lights, and the pink lights that are doing, I don't know what they're doing. But anyways, there it is. I have some more quilts there in the hall and on my ladder, and then up here we have more cards, and I have more cards in the dining room. Here's some more of the cards I have put in the dining room. So nice. So let's go back in the studio. We're going to start right here on the back side because I switched out my quilt. I have this one done. Yes, so excited. So I sat down and said, okay, I'm going to work on those three projects, the two with the binding and the all the trimmings, which I'll show you next. We'll go back on the other side of the table, which has the needs the quilting. So I got the binding done on this, and I was looking at some things while I was working on it over the weekend, so let me show you that. So I have the banana quilt, the Christmas one. I got the binding on. Yes. So the binding, I did the same as this little 1.5 inch strip that I put around the whole thing. I just like that the gives it sort of looks like a chunky border, when a chunky binding, when it's really not a chunky binding. It's just a regular binding, but it's got this extra on here. I have this beautiful wave stitch that Jenny put on it for me. So the thing is, when you do this pattern, which is from the Perfect 10 book, so it's one of the quilts in the Perfect 10 book, and I did alter the layout a little bit because I made all of the sashings the same size, and then I put these little cornerstones every so often to get that, you know, sort of radiating look of the pattern. So there we go, up there is another one. So I put those in, so it's a little bit different. But when you're doing this, you get lots of half square triangles, and so I really want to do something with these because I still have some of the fabric from this line, which I've got. Here we go. So I have a few pieces that I got extra because I was thinking I could do some shoe fly blocks with putting the people fabric. Whoops, there's the people fabric from it. It's called Hustle and Bustle, and I can put that in the center of the shoe fly. The deal is, like, what size do I trim these? Because I'm going to make shoe flies that don't have to fit with anything else. I am going to trim these the biggest they can be. So instead of doing 1.5, which will have some waist, I'm going to do it 1 3/4. But that means I can't use that ruler I like. So let me just show you. So here's the ruler, and it has, you know, the 1.5 inch. There we go. It has, you know, 1.5, 2.5, whatever. If I put it down on the 1.5, which I'm going to zoom you in here, I'm going to pull it way down, zoom you in close, off the table. But if I put them on the 1.5, there's a lot of waste. I don't want to make that much waste because there's no reason to. They're just too tight for 2. You know, that would be a 1.5 inch finished. It's just too tight. So what I need is like 1 3/4. So what I need is something that would be sort of halfway through here. And so one thing I could do, if I wanted to use this ruler and trim it like this before I press them open, I could just put a piece of washi tape like right across here and make my own line so they're all consistent, because that's the whole thing. They just need to be consistent. Otherwise, I could press them all open, and then I could just trim them to 1 3/4 inches, which would be 1 1/4 finished. So I could do that. So I might practice with the washi tape, see if that actually because it actually doesn't matter. All I want to do is have it as big. I want to have as little waste as possible. There's no reason to waste it, because then I'll just draft the middle square to be the same size as whatever this ends up. So if this is 1 3/4, then I will cut a 1 3/4 center square and then make a bunch of these. I haven't counted them, so I'm not sure how many I have here, but I can make a nice little quilt, I think, with all of these and a bunch of little shoe flies. I don't know what the background, I have to go see what background fabric I have, because I'm not sure that I have enough of that to do, because the shoe flies take 4 squares of background fabric as well, so that's quite a bit. Okay, so that is what I'm thinking with these. Just a cute, fun little project to have on the side, just to do as start and stops and create all these little Christmassy shoe fly blocks, because I think these guys will be so cute. You know, put people in the middle. Yeah, I need to test one. Let's make one block. Well, this turned out pretty darn cute. Look at that. So I can fussy cut the people in there. They're just gonna fit. Maybe I might have a little bit of waste because of that. So what I need to do now is count how many of these I can make from this stack. I've got it on this little mouse pad. Let's see, there's a stack of them. I'm using for the background, which is different, but I don't, you know, I like it, this sort of textured fabric. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's still very white, and I think it goes well with what was used in the squares. Okay, so I got a plan, but I tried this and I didn't really like the way that was working out. So I will instead press open each of these and then trim them to 1 3/4, which gives me the finished it gives me a 4 1/4 block and 3 3/4 finish, which in the end doesn't matter because I'll just set them, you know, as long as they're all the same size. So I'm gonna have to press all these open and trim them, make little stacks and stacks of the setting squares that go around and the center squares, and then I can have this little kit that I can pick up and sew as starts and finishes while I'm doing other things. I like it. It's gonna work. It always feels so fantastic to get a quilt done, doesn't it? It's like the best feeling. It's like no matter what you're going to do with that quilt, just to have it done is like you just want to celebrate. It's like, yes, I got it done. All right, so I want to show you what I'm doing with all the trimmings. Let's go on the other side. Before I talk about all the trimmings, I just want to tell you that I am wearing my glasses now during, you know, when I'm not filming, because I have a sponge under there, and now apparently I can handle that amount of pressure with the sponge sitting there. And I'm hoping maybe in a few days I'll try wearing the glasses without the sponge and see if I can handle that, because it seriously looks dorky with the sponge. I mean, oh my goodness. Here's a picture, in case you didn't believe me. I could just put them on, but they're over there, and I can't reach them. It's like, oh my goodness. Okay, all the trimmings. I started back on the quilting of it, and so you can see it here. Let's see what I do. I have this section to do here. Still have this section, and then both of the top and the bottom border. I think I spent like about last night 40 minutes, you know, and I got pretty good chunk done, so I suspect an hour. Several of you asked me why I didn't put the guide bar on here to do the lines, and that's because the Solaris that I have, my Baby Lock Solaris, has guide beams. And so I'm going to show you, I've got the guide beam on right now, and there's 2 of them, and what I'm going to do is shift this right one so that it goes over towards the line, and then that'll be what I use for spacing. So you just kind of push it over as far, they go pretty far, and I'm about there. Probably should remember this. I can actually save it in the memory, so that's like at 14. But this way I can go that distance, which is about the foot, but it also just shows me ahead. So I just like it because it's that extra reminder that shows me ahead. Now I can also switch colors if I want that to be red. There, I can put red on there. If you had a dark fabric, you could put a white light. See, there you go. See the white light, you can see it. So those are my guide beams on the baby lock. There's my baby lock. Solaris. An hour at the most, we'll get the rest of this guy finished up, and then, yes, he'll be done. He'll be done. I'm so excited. Okay, so for today, over at my community page, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, which is public, so all of you can go. Today we start sharing of the decorations. I started just now by showing you mine when we kicked off. Yes, this is my Charlie Brown tree. No, I look forward to a good tree next year. But I love when you share your home with us. That is so special and so remarkable. Also, it's been fabulous if you wanted to share, you know, like lights in your town or some sort of display from your town. Those are all really awesome because we have a worldwide community. And so being able to see things from everywhere is just incredible. It is so much fun. So for this Tuesday, that is what we are doing. And it will run through Christmas Day. Now, I want you to remember that all posts are post approval. That way I keep our group safe from spammers who want to post. They can't get in because we all approve them, but that also means that either Greg, Dennis, or I have to do the approval. So if it doesn't go in the group for an hour, that just might be what is happening. And then overnight, of course, when we're sleeping, they'll go in the next morning. So just remember that when you are over there. It's been on post approval for over a year now, a year and a half about. So it's not anything new, but it's just a reminder so you don't have to keep resharing it. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.